Beloved, life begins within. What you carry in thought, what you nourish in feeling, what you persist in imagining, these are the seeds of your reality. The outer world is not a dictator, but a mirror, faithfully reflecting the state of your inner being. Therefore, the first lesson is simple: turn inward, for all change must begin there. Everything begins within you. Before a word is spoken, before an action is taken, before an event unfolds in the outer world, it exists first as a seed within the mind. The world you experience day by day is nothing more than a reflection of your inner state, a mirror of your thoughts, beliefs, and assumptions. If you wish to understand why life appears as it does, look not at the world itself, but at the hidden cause behind it, your own consciousness. When you rise in the morning and hold a thought of gratitude, your entire day bends itself to that vibration. You notice opportunities, kindness, and synchronicities that would have gone unseen had you carried thoughts of worry or resentment. Likewise, if you continually entertain ideas of lack, fear, or limitation, the world faithfully provides circumstances to match. The law is impartial. It does not ask what you want. It simply returns what you consistently dwell upon. Think of a garden. The soil does not decide which seed is worthy of growth. It nurtures all equally. Plant roses, and roses bloom. Plant thorns, and thorns flourish. So too with your mind, the soil of your inner world will nourish whatever seeds you allow to be planted. If you wish for beauty, plant beauty in thought. If you wish for abundance, plant abundance in imagination. The outer harvest will never fail to reflect the inner seed. This is why focusing on yourself is of such great importance. It is not the shifting behavior of others that determines your path, but the condition of your own inner state. The person who blames the outer world, who cries that others must change before life can improve, remains a prisoner of appearances. Yet the one who turns inward, who tends the garden of their imagination and trains the mind to dwell on higher visions, becomes free. Notice the moments when life feels heavy or chaotic. Instead of fighting against the storm, step back and ask, what am I nourishing within? If you discover that your inner dialogue is filled with doubt, fear, or self-criticism, then understand that the outer world is only echoing this inner conversation. Shift the inner word, and the outer reflection will follow. Your mind is not a passive observer of life. It is the author. Every scene of your existence is written in the language of thought and feeling. To focus on yourself, therefore, is to take responsibility for this authorship. It is to awaken to the realization that you are not merely reacting to life, but creating it. Imagine a sculptor standing before a block of stone. Within that stone lies infinite possibility, a statue of beauty, or a form left unshaped. The sculptor's vision and deliberate action determine what will emerge. So it is with your consciousness. Life hands you the raw material of experience, but it is your inner vision, your focused attention, that carves it into reality. To release is not to lose. To let go is not to surrender in defeat. Detachment is not weakness, but power, the highest form of strength a soul can demonstrate. For what is weakness, if not the desperate clinging to things, people, and circumstances that no longer serve the life you are destined to create? And what is power, if not the calm ability to walk away with faith, knowing that the unseen realm holds greater treasures than the things you now release? Consider the river. It flows with grace, never grasping at the water that has already passed. It moves forward, unbothered by what it leaves behind, and in doing so, it reaches the vastness of the ocean. If the river were to resist, if it were to cling to its past waters, it would cease to flow. The same is true of your life. The current of your being cannot move toward new horizons if you insist on clutching the shores of yesterday. Detachment is not coldness. It is not indifference. Rather, it is alignment with a greater law, that nothing belongs to you except that which resonates with your present state of consciousness. People will come and people will go. Seasons will begin and seasons will end. But your power lies in recognizing that you are not diminished when something departs. You are simply being prepared for what matches your higher vision. When you cling to relationships that drain you, or to memories that torment you, you give away your energy to the past. But when you release them, whether gently or abruptly, you reclaim your authority. You are no longer bound by the weight of what was. Detachment is the declaration, I am free to step into what is mine by right of consciousness. There is a great illusion in the world that attachment equals love, that grasping proves value, that holding on ensures security. But in truth, love is expansive, never restrictive. Value cannot be proven by desperation, and true security is not in holding on to another, but in holding firm to your own inner vision. Detachment is not an absence of love. It is the highest form of love, for it honors both yourself and the other by allowing growth without chains. When you learn to release, you learn to trust. For to let go is to affirm that life is not against you, but for you. You declare that what departs is not punishment, but preparation. You trust that the unseen hand of life arranges every event with precision, guiding you into alignment with your own inner state. And as you shift within, the outer world responds with new people, new opportunities, new expressions of abundance, none of which could arrive had you refused to let go. So detachment is not weakness, it is power. It is the courage to unclench your fist and allow life to place something far greater in your open hand. The greatest treasure you can ever acquire is not material wealth, nor the applause of others, nor even the comfort of external security. It is the knowledge of yourself. Self-awareness is the highest investment, for it is the foundation upon which all other riches are built. Without it, a man may gain the world and yet lose his way. With it, even in moments of lack, he carries the seed of abundance within. To be self-aware is to recognize the silent dialogue running through your mind. It is to know the feelings you nourish in the hidden chambers of your heart. It is to notice where your attention dwells, for where attention rests, energy flows, and where energy flows, life follows. Most live unaware, drifting from one circumstance to another, blaming people and events for their condition. Yet the one who turns inward, who studies the movements of thought and feeling, discovers the true cause of experience. Self-awareness reveals the patterns that govern your life. Perhaps you notice that you often expect rejection, and so rejection greets you. Perhaps you see that you secretly doubt your worth, and so life mirrors that doubt through neglect or disappointment. Awareness does not condemn, it illuminates. For once a pattern is seen, it can be transformed. What remains hidden enslaves you. What comes to light sets you free. This is why investing in yourself is the wisest choice. Books, teachings, meditation, reflection, all are tools not to decorate the mind with borrowed knowledge, but to awaken the truth already within you. When you train yourself to observe without judgment, to listen to your inner voice, you begin to direct life consciously rather than unconsciously. You become the sculptor of your destiny, no longer the clay molded by circumstance. Ask yourself daily, what am I thinking right now? What am I feeling? What am I assuming to be true? For every answer points to the reality you are shaping. If you assume lack, you perpetuate lack. If you assume abundance, you invite abundance. Self-awareness is not passive, it is creative. It allows you to intervene, to shift, to choose anew in each moment. There is no greater return on investment than the cultivation of your own inner state. Money can be lost, possessions can fade, relationships can change, but the self, awakened, disciplined, and aware, remains the constant source from which all else flows. The more you know yourself, the less you are shaken by appearances, and the more you live from a place of unshakable authority. Think of it, every moment you spend observing, refining, and disciplining your inner world compounds like interest in a great treasury. With time, your awareness grows sharper, your imagination clearer, and your faith stronger. And as these qualities grow, life itself bends to the shape of your awakened vision. Every thought you repeat, every memory you replay, every person you cling to, these do not remain passive within you. They bind you. What you hold on to holds on to you. Life is a mirror, and whatever you grip with intensity, whether in love, fear, or resentment, becomes the very chain that binds your freedom. Think of a traveler carrying a heavy bag on a long journey. The bag may contain old clothes, broken tools, and useless items from years past, yet the traveler insists on carrying it mile after mile. The weight slows every step, drains every ounce of strength, and robs the traveler of the joy of the journey. So it is with you when you cling to the past, be it people who have left, circumstances that have ended, or wounds that continue to live in memory. What you carry inwardly determines how far and how freely you can walk. Many hold on to relationships long gone, rehearsing words that were spoken, imagining scenarios of how things might have been. They believe this keeps them connected, but in truth, it keeps them trapped. The person they cling to has already moved into their own new chapter, while they themselves remain frozen in a chapter that no longer exists. By holding on, they unknowingly bind themselves to absence and delay the arrival of something new. The same is true for emotions. To hold on to anger is to keep alive the very event that sparked it. To hold on to fear is to relive a danger that may never return. To hold on to guilt is to imprison yourself in a past that no longer has life. The outer world will faithfully echo this inner clinging. Experiences will repeat, situations will resurface, and the same lessons will return until release is chosen. Letting go does not mean denying that an event happened, nor does it mean rejecting the lessons learned. It simply means refusing to give it power over your present state. When you release, you declare, I am no longer bound to what was. I am free to experience what can be. You open the doors of your consciousness to fresh possibility, and life rushes in to fill the space once occupied by clinging. Understand this law: the universe abhors a vacuum. When you let go of something, the space does not remain empty. It is filled with something new, something aligned with your current state of being. But if your hands remain clenched around the old, how can you ever receive the new? Just as a farmer must clear the field of last season's crops before planting again, so must you clear your inner field of attachments before the next harvest can arrive. What you hold on to holds on to you. Release with trust, for in releasing, you are not losing. You are unbinding yourself. You are making room for the greater life that has been waiting to unfold all along. Every great change, every true transformation begins not with chance, but with discipline. The mind left untrained wanders restlessly, pulled in 1,000 directions by fear, doubt, desire, and distraction. But the mind brought under discipline becomes a mighty servant, a creative instrument that shapes reality with precision. Inner discipline is the foundation of mastery, and without it, no lasting transformation can occur. Consider the one who seeks to build strength in the body. Without daily training, without commitment to practice, the muscles remain weak and undeveloped. In the same way, the faculties of the mind, attention, imagination, and feeling, require exercise. Left unattended, they default to old habits, replaying the same cycles of thought and emotion. But when trained, they become obedient to vision and aligned with intention. This is the beginning of transformation. Discipline begins with awareness of thought. Every thought is a seed, and seeds grow whether you want them to or not. The undisciplined mind allows weeds to grow unchecked. Worries, complaints, judgments, and fears. The disciplined mind, however, sows only the seeds it chooses, refusing to nurture thoughts that do not align with the desired harvest. Each time you redirect your attention from fear to faith, from doubt to assurance, from lack to abundance, you strengthen the muscles of discipline. Discipline also governs the imagination. Imagination is the workshop of creation, but without guidance, it drifts into scenarios of failure and loss. Many live in fear because they rehearse fearful outcomes within themselves. Yet the disciplined soul trains imagination to dwell on visions of fulfillment, peace, and abundance. When you hold a vision with consistency, when you return to it with persistence, it takes root and shapes your experience. The undisciplined wavers, but the discipline persists, and persistence is the key to manifestation. Furthermore, discipline governs feeling. Feelings are the language of the subconscious, the power that impresses the vision upon reality. To allow moods to rise and fall without direction is to let life be ruled by chance. But to discipline the inner self is to learn the art of cultivating feelings deliberately. Peace, gratitude, joy, confidence. Such feelings are not accidents, they are choices, strengthened by practice until they become your natural state. Inner discipline is not harshness, it is love. It is the love of the self that refuses to let destructive thoughts govern destiny. It is the love that protects imagination from being wasted on fear. It is the love that insists on nurturing feelings that lift rather than diminish. To discipline yourself inwardly is to treat your mind and heart as sacred soil, worthy only of the seeds that will bring forth good fruit. True transformation does not come by wishing, nor by waiting, but by discipline. Each act of mastery over thought, each deliberate use of imagination, each conscious cultivation of feeling becomes a step toward the life you desire. And as these steps accumulate, transformation unfolds, not by chance, but by the law of disciplined inner creation. Beloved, the secret has always been within you. The outer world, with all its shifting faces and changing forms, is but a shadow cast by the light of your own inner state. To chase shadows is to labor in vain. To turn within is to touch the source of all power. You have heard it said, focus on yourself, let them go. Now understand what that truly means. It means to guard the garden of your mind with holy reverence. It means to release the weight of the past so that your hands are free to receive the future. It means to invest in your own awareness, to choose your thoughts, to discipline your imagination, to cultivate feelings that declare the life you wish to live as already yours. Nothing holds you captive but what you refuse to release. Nothing delays your destiny but the chains you place upon yourself, and nothing can stop you once you align inwardly with the vision of your higher self. So stand firm, release with faith, focus with power, for the world will always reflect the truth you dare to embody. And as you embody it, so shall it be.